Started screen share.
Finish dish.
This meeting is being recorded.
You want to see what we do best? We got the recipe for success. We don't need sight to make something good tonight. We're on in the kitchen. We're gonna show you what we got. Full of a spice and love. We're stirring up the pot. We're cooking without looking. Cooking without looking. Yeah!
Renee Redmeister has stopped screen share.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cooking Without Looking TV show. I'm your host, Alan Preston.
And hi, Alan. This is Sylvia Stinson Perez, Alan's co-host. And Alan, I hear you're still waiting on pins and needles for that male person to deliver your Cooking Without Looking apron.
It wasn't here, and I checked just before I sat down.
They'll probably
ordered it a
deliver
couple
it
of weeks
like
ago,
right
but Renee
after.
said it'd take a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Watch, it'll arrive at 4:05 today.
It'll be there when the show's over.
Right. Well, everyone, anyone who wants to get their official Cooking Without Looking TV show cool apron, which I'm wearing and Renee's wearing, just go to the Cooking Without Looking TV at wordpress.com and click on the PayPal link, or send your address to Renee and she will help you out.
All right. Now, today we're about to feature an organization that's very near and dear to my heart and has been for a lot of years. It's the Lighthouse for the Blind of the Palm Beaches.
And just as a reminder, everyone featured on the Cooking Without Looking show is blind, visually impaired, or low vision. Our mission is to change the way we see blindness.
Yes, it is. As I mentioned, the Lighthouse for the Blind of the Palm Beaches is an organization that's a favorite of mine. In fact, I'm on their board of directors. And here now is another old friend of mine who works for the Lighthouse, Anne Hatton of the Lighthouse for the Palm Beaches. Welcome, Anne.
Hi, Alan. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
Well, Anne, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your blindness and what you do for our Lighthouse for the Palm Beaches?
That's my mama go mom.
Sure, I'll be
From Cameron to everyone, that's my mama go mom. Press F6 to focus on.
Thank you. I didn't know what that was.
Good job. I may have to turn Jaws off. It's talking. Sorry about that. Anything can happen with assistive technology. It butts in. So yes, I have retinitis pigmentosa, and it's a retinal degenerative disease. And I was diagnosed when I was 7, and the way that came about, one summer evening, and I grew up in Western Palm Beach County in a small town and not a lot to do. We were out looking at constellations and things like that. And the kids were all talking about stars. And I went home and hands on hips and said to my mom, the kids were all making up stories about seeing stars. And she looked out, it was pretty bright, so she was concerned. Long story short, took me to an ophthalmologist, and they diagnosed me with retinitis pigmentosa. And at a young age, I learned that it would be, taking my sight away gradually, but didn't really as a kid know what that meant. So like other visually impaired people, as a teenager, I definitely tried to fake sighted and still fit in and be cool. So there were some hard moments, but, fast forward to learning about the Lighthouse through the Division of Blind Services. I actually began as a client there first in 2009, which is where I met Alan Preston. And
Yes.
Alan inspired me so much. It gave me some confidence that I needed to excel in the daily living skills classes, orientation and mobility. And when I hit assistive technology, it just turned out to really be my jam, and I just fell in love with it. And had, was like I say, did all the lessons. I had an amazing instructor and mentor. I had the privilege of meeting Mr. Stevie Wonder in California in 2010 and said something really geeky instead of, "Oh, I love your music." I went, "What technology do you use?" And he showed me his iPhone and voiceover. And when I got back to Florida, I was talking to my mentor, Rachel Trinkowski, and said, "We got to get it. We got to teach it." And I actually volunteered in her first iPhone class in 2011. She told me I was a natural born instructor, and the rest is history. I've been with this Lighthouse. It is, just like Alan said, very near and dear to my heart. And I believe in paying forward the beautiful things they did because they gave me back. Truly, they gave me back my life. And I want other visually impaired people to see there is still hope and independence.
And you've been a wonderful asset to our Lighthouse for a lot of years, even though you're not living over here. We miss you.
I missed you too. And I moved to Cape in around 2019 to be near my
Dave
daughter
Farah
and two
joined
little
the meeting.
grandkids. So, but yes, I am still with you in spirit.
That's great. Well, Anne, tell us what you're going to prepare for us today.
I'll be happy to tell you. I'm going to be preparing a sheet pan lemon, herb, and garlic chicken dish. It's very springtime. I love lemon this time of year, and I love Mediterranean cooking and the Mediterranean diet. I love a healthy lifestyle. So normally this whips up in about 15, 20 minutes and cooks in about 28 minutes. So it's great for a busy working weeknight or even a lazy Sunday afternoon. And
please show us how you do it.
Sure, and I love using everything fresh because I'm a farmer's daughter, so we believe in using fresh produce. So let's start out by whenever I begin with the recipe, I like to read it through so I have an idea. I can gather all my ingredients because as visually impaired, I like to lay things out so I can find them ahead of time. I don't like to stop and do things, and I get all of the tools of the trade I need. So everything's out. I have the things I need to make my marinade, and then the things for the main event, the protein and the vegetables. Sheet pan cooking is very forgiving, so you can definitely mix it up on your proteins and your veggies. Just keep in mind the key is keeping things similar in size when you cut it up. And if you have some watery vegetables, like a zucchini may not take as long as a broccoli. So again, but it's pretty forgiving. Okay, let's start with the marinade. So I have here a bowl of lemons, and I need lemon zest. So I like to use the box grater because I can find my zest pretty easy because it's going to land inside here. So I'm going to put the box grater, and all my produce is pre-washed, and I have impeccably clean hands. Today's word in my kitchen is impeccably. So,
That's a great idea to use the box grater for the zest so you know where it is. That's a fabulous idea.
thank you. And sometimes if I were using a little bigger bowl, I actually put the grater inside it, so it actually drops right in the bowl. But I have a smaller bowl today. So I'm picking kind of the smaller side of the graty things. I know that's probably not the right word. Give me, and you don't want to grate down to that white stuff called the pith. So I'm just gonna give it about 3 swishes and turn the lemon again about a quarter of a turn. Swish, 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 quarter, swish, 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 quarter.
Are you kind of guessing at that, or can you actually see when you get to the white?
I'm a lot more blind since I saw you last, so I am totally guessing and a feeling. I agree with what Alan said off camera before we started. Our hands and fingers and nose are our best tools.
Yeah,
they
My
are.
daily living instructor, who told me I couldn't say her name, she taught me when brownies smell like brownies, they're done. So
That's right.
And
timing is important, but our senses actually really add so much to that.
And our instructors at the Lighthouse are fabulous for that because I love the kitchen, and she gave me the ability to be back in here. And again, that means a lot to me. Okay.
And your family is grateful for it.
And my family's grateful. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to drop it in the bowl. I scraped it up. Oh, I got to move this. I scraped it on a knife blade, just like you would if you were scraping up garlic. Bring it together, swish in. You can feel it that way. You can tell you got it off. My counters are white. My cutting board is black because I need contrast. Okay, that's all done. Now, I'm going to take, I lost my lemon. Here's my lemon. There's my lemon. All right, I'm going to take my lemon and cut it in half. A sharp knife is safer than a dull knife, so always make sure your knives are sharp. And that was a chef's knife. And I have a strainer, a little thin mesh strainer I put over my little bowl of where I'm going to put the marinade because I don't want any seeds. I can't see if they drop in there. So I'm just squeezing my lemon. Oh boy, it smells.
That's the same lemon you took the zest off of, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. You don't waste them, do you?
And you're only using one lemon.
No, I'm going to use another one.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's the good question. It's the lemon I just squirted into my eye. Sorry.
That hurts. I get it.
Oh goodness, that was funny.
And even if you can't see, it still stings.
But it didn't get me bad in there. Oh,
Oh my God.
this is also a comedy show. I was thinking if Alan and I got together, that could happen. Okay, there's all my lemon juice. And look, no seeds. I love it. Yay. All right. Wash my intactable clean hands real quick. Okay. Now, to this bowl of lemon zest and lemon juice, I have pre-measured 1/3 of a cup of olive oil. So I'm going to put that in there.
Cool.
Are you mixing the olive oil with the lemon?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It's in the bowl together. Then I have a ramekin pre-measured, and in the ramekin, and the ingredients, I guess they're listed on. I don't know where my recipe is. I don't know if you're sharing it, but it's a teaspoon of paprika, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, a teaspoon of salt, and 2 teaspoons of oregano.
That's a great combo. Yeah.
Very
You
good.
pre-mixed all that, right?
Yes, I did. I
Pre-measured it, I mean, you
measured
mixed
it
it.
with the spoon set, so I had the right teaspoons and tablespoons. I put it in a ramekin.
Mhm.
I like fresh ground black pepper. So I have a pepper shaker with black peppercorns, and you want to add that to taste. I like a lot.
I like pepper too.
Except for I have olive oil in my hand and I can't turn it. Oh goodness, hold on.
Here, let me see the bowl. No.
I got it. I just wiped that.
Must be some tough peppercorns.
You hear it? Yeah, they are. It's a good workout. Okay, so that's my pepper. So I'm just going to let that hang out. And just before I add it to the protein and vegetables, I'll whisk it. So that's just going to go hang out over here. And I wanted to demonstrate a little AT thing real quick before I move on to the meat and protein. I have my meta glasses, and some of you were talking about them earlier. I'm an assistive technology instructional specialist, so part of what gives me my independence to do all these amazing things at home is things like the meta glasses and accessible apps. And of course, to learn more about those, I'll give you information about the Lighthouse at the end of my segment. But hopefully I haven't turned this jar too many times and it's wrong. Hey, Meta, what am I looking at? And it just told me I am looking at a bottle of paprika.
Mhm.
So that's how I find my herbs and spices. I can read package directions. It does a lot of things, but it's very helpful in my kitchen. So that was that. Okay, let's
And the
get
speakers go right into your ears and no one else can hear it.
right. And if I turned the volume up loud, I could have shared it with you. I didn't think about that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We could sort of hear it.
Okay, good. Thanks for telling me. Because I wanted to incorporate that into this too, because that's really my passion. All right, I just brought a bowl of baby Dutch potatoes over. And in my refrigerator, I have prepared in advance chicken breast, and it's cut up into bite-sized pieces, and it's been washed and patted dry. I'm going to go ahead and put that on my prepared sheet pan over here.
Do you have foil or parchment paper or anything on your sheet pan?
Foil.
Okay.
I sometimes use parchment, but today I used aluminum foil.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to get my smart oven preheated first. Alexa, preheat my oven to 375. Thank you.
Preheating oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit.
I have a smart oven. I have a smart house.
They don't have.
That on your
You know,
yours.
I gotta put them. Oh, let me add the mustard to my marinade real quick. Got to have the Dijon mustard. Not complete without the Grey Poupon, right?
All these ingredients will be listed on the ingredients at our website.
Thank you, Alan.
And shared on the Facebook page for Cooking Without Looking.
Yes.
Join that.
I know, right? So I'm gonna move some stuff out of the way. Here. So I have some baby Dutch potatoes. It's any potato of your choice will work. You know, red, yellow, golden. And I like to use my small paring knife for this because I can feel it better because I just see shapes and shadows. So I can feel my potato and know where my knife is. I have good control. And I'm just cutting it in half.
You leave the peelings on?
Yes, that's where all the goodie is, the nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
They're washed.
That's good.
It's true though. Okay.
Was it 2 potatoes you put in there?
I take 10 baby potatoes and cut them in half. But again, such a forgiving recipe. You know, you can do whatever you want.
You could
Okay.
have one potato if you want.
Exactly.
It depends on the size of the potato. I know. I've seen some that weigh 3 pounds. So
Yeah, I was gonna say you can use a big potato if you wanted to, and just, you know, again, just dice it. I would say dice it in 1-inch cubes. And if you don't want to leave the skin on, of course, you don't have to, right? Okay, potatoes. Over here, I have some broccoli, and I kept one little bunch just so you could see. I don't ever cut my broccoli. I just take the little broccoli crown and just break them off.
oh, that worked.
I don't know. Does anybody ever try that?
Yes.
Isn't it great?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes your hands can work just as well, if not better, than a knife.
That's exactly. So, you know, where I can do things like that, I do. And when I need a knife, I use a knife. Okay, that completes my broccoli. Almost there. There we go. Okay. So I'm adding the broccoli to the potatoes and chicken on the prepared sheet pan. Ta-da. And then
What all kinds of vegetables have you done this with?
oh man, carrots, broccoli, parsnips, asparagus, sweet potatoes, zucchini, pretty much
anything.
yeah. And I change, you know, salmon is a great quick protein. Mahi mahi is another quick you know.
Mhm.
I do this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I have here's my onions, and then I have some quartered onions. Ta-da. And then, just when you think you can't have more Mediterranean lemon goodness, I'm going to throw some quartered lemon slices in here. Okay.
So you're just putting the lemon slices on the pan?
Yes, I'm going to toss it all together here in a second with the marinade.
Okay.
So I'm going to grab There, do I feel a fork? There's a fork. I'm gonna whisk my marinade with my little fork. Bring this back over here. So I've got my marinade. I'm gonna whisk it. And it has all the herbs, salt and pepper, the lemon zest, the lemon juice, the olive oil, and the Dijon mustard. Okie dokie. Oh, here's the fun part where you want your hands clean. I'm pouring this over it. Going to put that in my sink. Now my hands are washed, and I'm just going to gently toss all this on my big sheet pan. I'm coming over here a little closer.
Let me move it back.
Is that good right there?
Well, I'm smooth it.
Can y'all see it sort of?
Well,
Back up a little.
We'll have to
Yeah.
ask someone who can see.
I don't know either.
Put the camera down just a little bit
All right.
so we can see your hands. There we go.
ah,
I'm just tossing it around.
and you're just kind of tossing this around and making it even on the tray, right?
Yes, I'm getting it. Everybody's getting coated, and then I'm going to smooth it out. And okay.
And there is no better way to do that than to do that with your hands.
Yes.
Okay, all done? I think I got everybody. Going into a preheated 375-degree oven. Alexa, set chicken timer 28 minutes.
Chicken timer, 28 minutes, starting now.
That's my recipe.
Sounds delicious.
Meta can set that timer for you too.
Yes, it can. And so can my Apple Watch.
Oh, I didn't know you were wearing an Apple Watch. Okay.
I love
She's
my-
just the tech lady.
Well, that's her job, so she should be.
I love it all. I speak many languages of technology.
Well, Anne, that was absolutely spectacular. Do you by any chance have an example of a finished product?
I do.
Oh, wonderful. Could we see it?
Could
Yes.
we eat
Well, I
it?
don't know if we can see it or not, but would you be happy to show it to us?
I have it. I'm going to show you. I have it on a platter, and I like to garnish it. A lot of people say this is where I ruin it, but I put feta cheese on it.
You could put almost any kind of cheese on it, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Parmesan?
I just went with feta because I'm keeping that whole Mediterranean vibe, but yes, Parmesan would work. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely it would. So I don't know how pretty that looks, but can you see?
This is going on my list of something to make. It
And-
sounds delicious.
And
it
put
has
it
all
up
the
just
pretty-
a little
can you
bit.
see the lemon slices and everything. It just really is so fresh and so springtime and so healthy. It's low
And,
cal-
and
Like-
just put it up a little bit to your chest. There you go.
And you could always serve it with a side of couscous if you like.
That sounds great.
Okay,
I
thank
bet
you.
it smells good when it's cooking too.
The house
Love the
smells-
smell of lemon zest.
I wish you, we need smell-o-vision.
Mm.
I've been talking to Renee about that for years.
And taste too.
Thank you. I appreciate. This was fun. Thank you.
And that looks absolutely great. Can you please tell us how our viewers can reach out to you at our Lighthouse for the Blind to the Palm Beaches?
Yes, of course. I'd be happy to share that. So my email address is Hatton, Hatton at lhpb.org. And you can reach the Lighthouse for further information about our services and how to qualify and get them at 561-586-5600.
Thank you very much, Anne. That was absolutely spectacular. It's so good to see you again, too.
It's great to see you too, Alan. We have lots of catching up to do. And again, thank you to you and Sylvia and Renee for having me today. This has actually been a secret dream of mine for years since I first met Alan. He told me what he did.
You liked my dog. I know
I love
that.
the
You have
dog.
a dog now too, don't you?
I have my second dog. I do. His code name is Bon Jovi, and he's a Goldador, and he's amazing.
Oh, great.
Alan and I
And
belong
it's so
here.
good to see you again. And thank you again, Anne. Sylvia?
Thank you, Alan, and thank you, Anne. I loved that, and I can't wait to make that recipe. And so now we are moving on to our next awesome guest today, and that is Gabe Rivera. Gabe, welcome.
Alt
Thank
V.
you. Thank you.
So, Gabe, tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about yourself and your blindness journey.
Yes, of course. Again, my name is Gabe Rivera. I prefer Gabe. It's shorter and better. um, 3 years and 9 months ago, I was a victim of a hate crime. That's how I lost my sight. I have a master's degree in music, but I was performing as a bartender and mixologist all around South Florida. Now I am working to regain independency, and that's when I met the people from Lighthouse for the Blind.
Wow. That's a powerful story.
Yeah, no, 3.5 years ago, I mean, it took a while for me to I did a lot of learning by myself with the iPhone and all that with voiceover. Then I came back to Florida. My incident happened in Florida in my apartment. I was beaten up, and that's how I lost my sight. So it took a lot of recovering in the hospital, rehabilitation. Thankfully, and thanks to the Lord, I was well functioning, and when I came to Florida, I started doing some research, using what I've taught myself to do on voiceover, and did some research about agencies, and that's why Lighthouse for the Blind came in the picture. I called to the Palm Beach, and they honestly, without everything in my heart, they have changed my entire life. They do commit what your mission is. They do change the way we see blindness, and that has been my experience with them, with all the teachers. I get the people that works there. It's just absolutely incredible. They have changed my life and touched my life. I don't like many people, but I like them. I I I went there, and besides showing empathy, they have taught me a bunch of stuff, and they have taught me how to be independent. Starting with the class with Mr. Mark, then with Diane Selena for skills in independent living, and then now they sent me to the program. Actually, the kitchen that I'm using, they sent me here. It's called Recipes for Success, to which for 8 weeks, in a period of 24 classes, we students from different type of agencies come together and learn from a very good chef, a very great chef. I know chefs all around. I have 18 years of experience working in restaurants, open menu restaurant, created menus and like drink menus and all that. And he also put a little drop in my bucket, because he also is very, very well trained, and very he empathizes with the people that he teaches. He has heart in it, and same to the Lighthouse. I mean, the Lighthouse sent me here, and I believe the reason for it. And this happens in the grounds of extraordinary charities, to where I come. I graduated, I think, on the 8th. And they allow me to use the kitchen today for the recipes that I'm about to cook for you guys.
That's awesome. And I can tell you that the people at Recipes for Success and the people at the Lighthouse, from my years of working in lighthouses and running agencies, they're all of them have these giant smiles on their face right now, because your story and the stories of so many people like you are what makes people come to work or volunteer like on boards like Alan every single day. And so thank you for sharing that. I can't wait to hear what you're going to make today. Listen, I'm feeling like I need to come to I want to it's one of my dreams to go to a culinary program. So I might need to figure out a way to come to Recipes for Success, which I don't live there, but you know.
You
It's
should
So
pretty
come.
tell us about
amazing,
what you're
really.
going to make.
I'm
We,
sorry.
our Lighthouse had a dinner put on by them one time here about a few months back, and they did a pretty darn good job. It was really great.
Oh. So Gabe, what are you cooking up today?
So today I'm going to show how to make the meatballs, handcraft meatballs, all from scratch. But then I came here and my entire recipe, which you will be able to find in the website as well, is pappardelle noodles from scratch as well, a red sauce Italian sauce also from scratch, and the meatball, of course. It's an Italian dish.
Wow. Well, tell us how to make it.
All right, sounds good. Let's start this way. I'm gonna first of all introduce you to something that has been my best friend the entire time I was here, and it's a talking scale. This is amazing. It's my new toy. It's amazing because you set it up, it talks to you. You hear it? You set it up, and you reset it down to 0, and that's how I pre-measure everything that I have here. Before making the meatballs, I'm gonna show you all the ingredients first and like the measurements and all that. Then I put them all together, and that way we cut up a little faster through it. Again, with the talking scale, for the pappardelle noodles, I use 200 grams. I'm sorry. 200 grams of flour, and that's how I made the noodles from scratch. I use salt, 1 egg per every 100, so I use 2 eggs because I made 200 grams of flour, and then a pinch of salt. The recipe calls for oil. I did not use any olive oil. I used water, and I did my fingers in the water, and that's how I created the dough. And then I cut it up, and I did it from scratch just using my hands. Again, as you guys said before, previously, your hands are your best friend and your best tool you have. Once I show you that, the first thing I want to show you. The ingredients are, I got it for 5 minutes. You let 1 cup, a quarter of a cup of milk, and you have 2/3 of breadcrumbs. Which these ones that I've got, it have Parmesan cheese because you also have a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. So that's what we have. We have half of a cup of milk. We do have the 2/3 of a cup of the breadcrumbs and a half a cup of Parmesan cheese that we already have mixed. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna do the same bowl that I use here, and I'm gonna put it to soak. You allow me 1 second. Again, everything is pre-measured.
Tell us what you're doing while you're doing it, Gabe.
Yes, so what I'm doing is, again, I'm putting inside the milk in a bowl. I'm putting the breadcrumbs with the Parmesan cheese so I can mix it up and they can soak for 5 minutes. Again, I just let them, you mix a little bit and let it soak for 5 minutes. The recipe also calls for an egg, and it calls for 10 ounces of ground beef. It calls for 10 ounces of sweet Italian sausage, which I'm putting together as well. It calls for a pinch of salt and pepper as well. So I'm putting the meats together first. Of course, my hands are clean, right? Yes, just in case. My hands are very clean. Then I have the salt and pepper. I'm putting them in. All right. Then also I have an egg. With many people would like to what is it called? Scramble it, like whisk it a little bit. I don't. I just put it in and do it with my hands again.
Mm-hmm.
Best hands, your hands.
Do you use the whole egg or do you separate it?
No, I use a full egg. A full egg. And then, since we have a little time, you just put it there. It doesn't matter. I put the salt and pepper already in. I have here. I don't know if you guys are able to see it. I'm gonna cut some parsley. It calls for 2 tablespoons of parsley, which I'm gonna just chop it up a little bit before I put it in. That way, I give time to the breadcrumbs to be soaked for the 5 minutes. And again, I just get a knife and a cutting board, and you just chop it a little bit. All my knife skills will talk here. So, recipe for success, the chef taught me everything. Actually, the way I prepare the dough, the chef was the one who taught me how to make it. From scratch, not using the machine, right? Then you gotta cut in and you roll it up, you use a roller, make it flat, and after you make it flat, then you go and cut the noodles, or the pappardelle noodles, right? So I'm putting the parsley inside of it, and again, with your hands, you're gonna, as the one that you're gonna use to mix. And now, I believe the 5 minutes have passed for the soaking. It should be fine. You soak it on a mixing bowl. And I must say, Miss Anne has a beautiful voice. She talks very beautifully. Then here, with my hands, I'm gonna just mix everything together to both meats.
So you're mixing up the meatballs now.
Then I'm gonna mix, yes, the meat, so to which I'm gonna create the meatballs with.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you're mixing it all with your hands, so you get it even?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, again, hands is better. Hands is better, way better.
Oh, yes.
And I do have a picture, well, not a picture, I'm sorry. I do have a plate already made with the noodle, the sauce, and all the ingredients already prepared, set it up for you guys to see the final product. I just wanted to show you how the meatballs, what is in the meatballs. The salt and pepper, the recipe calls for a pinch of each, but you can do it, you know, on whatever you feel like it. Like if you want a little more, to add some like some people like a little spicy in it. So I mean not me, but you know, if you want to add some spiciness to the meatballs, you definitely can. With the sausage makes it a little sweet. They're amazing. I learned the recipe here also in Recipes for Success. Too. Mostly what I know is from here. Between the Lighthouse and Recipes for Success are the ones who have taught me how to prepare everything. And then I have a half sheet tray here, to what I'm gonna use to put the meatballs in. And you can use there is a little spoon that you can use to create the meatballs. I rather do it with my hands. Then you set the oven in 425 degrees, and then once you have all the meatballs formed, you put it in, and you leave it let it be for at least 10 minutes, so it can like toast the outside of the meatballs. Then you soak them in the sauce, and after you soak them in the sauce, you put it back in for at least 8 to 12 minutes.
At the same temperature?
I'm sorry?
At the same 425 degrees?
425 degrees, yes.
Okay.
Same temperature.
And how long are you going to soak them in the sauce?
You soak after, so you put them first in the oven for the first 10 minutes, so they get like toasted.
Yeah.
And then when you put them in the oven for the first 10 minutes, you take them out, soak them in the sauce, and put them back in.
The red sauce, right? The tomato sauce?
In the red sauce, yes. The
Uh-huh.
tomato red sauce.
Like how long do you soak them in the sauce, Gabe?
Just you can use just a little bit. Just soak them
Oh,
real
okay.
quick and put them back in the sheet tray and just put them back in.
So you're really just dipping them in.
I'm sorry?
You're really just dipping them in and just coating them and putting them back.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, you don't leave them in the container of sauce and put the whole thing back in. You
Mm-mm.
dip
No.
them in the sauce, put them back
No,
on
no,
the
no, no.
tray.
You take them out. You soak them a little bit. You take them out. Put
Okay.
them back in the sheet tray.
Okay.
Just
Yeah,
so
that
they
way-
get that little bit of tomato sauce on them.
Mhm.
Yes, yes, and it flavorizes them a little better. But
I
you
always
can-
wondered how to make really good meatballs. That sounds like the way. Wow.
Maybe go this way. You see, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Interesting little trick.
Yeah, right?
And after you have that done, again, you just put them in the oven, and that should be it. Then I have a final product. I mean, my hands are really dirty. Huh? Do I have a right? I'm sorry, I'm gonna go right. All right. So for you guys to see, is it?
Mhm.
All right. And
Not
here is
sure
the
what
final,
we're looking
the final
at.
product. Can you see it?
Is this the finished product?
This is the finished product, yes.
Ah, okay. One of our sighted people is going to have to let us know. I guess we can.
How did
see
you make
this.
the pasta? So how do you cook the pasta, Gabe?
The pasta, again, I made the dough from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I used 200 grams of flour, a pinch of salt. The recipe called for a tablespoon of olive oil. I did not use it to make the dough. I rather, my preference. I mean, you can add the oil. My preference, because I'm not using a machine to make the dough.
Mm-hmm.
I dip my fingers in a bowl of water, so it makes them moist, and that way I created the dough. Once I
And how do you
created
cook
the
it?
dough,
How do
I
you
let it
cook
rest for
how
5
do you
minutes,
cook it?
Then I draw it up. I'm sorry.
How do you cook it?
Oh, I put it the same way. Well, I learn a different way. So you get a pan with water, of course, and then in a different, that's probably a smaller pan that you can put inside. You put the noodles inside with water and a pinch of salt as well, and then you put it inside the bigger bowl, and cook them like that for around 4. Since the noodles are from scratch, you can let them be for at least not longer than 3 to 4 minutes, and they'll be cooked.
Okay.
Gabe, pick up a noodle.
Huh?
Pick up a noodle from the plate.
Oh, this is how the noodle should look.
Are they more so when you're only doing 3 to 4 minutes, they're pretty al dente, or are they pretty soft?
I'm sorry?
Are they more like firm al dente or more soft?
Soft.
Okay.
Okay.
So any questions?
That's awesome. I mean, it's one of my favorite meals right there. Then you got to throw some Parmesan cheese on top of that finished product.
Yes, I put some cheese. Yes, we put some Parmesan cheese on top of it to make it pretty. And I did plate it myself, all right?
I like lots of Parmesan cheese.
Yes, that's Parmesan cheese on top of it. I put the way I plated it is around a plate of 4. I put a cup of sauce on the bottom, put the noodles on the top, and then the meatballs, and then of course I put a little more sauce on top of it with some Parmesan cheese. And that way I decorate it you make it look nice.
It sounds delicious.
About how many meatballs does that batch make?
Around 6. Everything will depend on how big you make the meatballs, but I got out 6 of them. out of the
6 average meatball
12.
size
If it's
meatballs.
10 and 10 ounces, 12 in total. I made, half an ounce, so it's 12 in total.
If you make them a little smaller, they cook faster.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So how can people reach out to Recipes for Success?
The website for Recipes for Success is exactly how you spell it, recipesforsuccess.org.
That couldn't be easier, recipesforsuccess.org.
Yes, and Miss Christine is here, Miss Ashley is here, Chef Greg is amazing. And again, if you need any other information, the website and phone numbers of all of them. And Lighthouse for the Blind already, they were the one who sent me here, of course, and then you guys already have the information for Lighthouse for the Blind. And if you need any advice, you can get me through them.
Thank you so much, Gabe, and
Well, thank you.
Recipes for Success and Lighthouse. And
What-
probably Division of Blind Services is in there too.
I'm sure they are, Sylvia. Hey, Renee. Gabe, that sounded really great. That really sounds good. Anyway, Renee,
Yeah.
could you tell us who has won the Any Day Gourmet Microwave Cookware Set?
Alrighty, let's see here. Woo! One took a dive out. Alrighty. Let's see. We have Gabe Rivera.
Oh,
Yay!
yay!
That's great.
Yay! I
He's
am
gonna
so
fill
glad
that
to
with
hear that.
meatballs and he's gonna fill that with meatballs and send them over.
Yes.
I'll send you the recipe. What about that?
Well, I want to say thank you to Anne Hatton, my friend and our tech person from the Lighthouse. And I want to thank you, Gabe. Congratulations, too. And thank all of you for joining us today on the Cooking Without Looking Lighthouse of the Palm
audio now
Beaches
unmuted.
edition. If you would like today's recipes as well as past recipes, please go to our website at www.cookingwithoutLooking.wordpress.com. Sylvia?
And I'm going to tell you what, I get lots of recipes off of there. So you really do have to go. And if you want to enjoy today's show or past shows, go to the Cooking Without Looking TV YouTube channel.
Yes. And you can also check out our Cooking Without Looking podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, or anywhere you get your favorite podcasts. We're also available on all Alexa-enabled devices and the Victor Reader. Sylvia?
And if you want to donate to
Mary Ellen
Vision
has left
World
the meeting.
Foundation to help continue changing the way we see blindness, just go to the website again, which is www.cookingwithoutlookingtv.wordpress.com and click on the PayPal link. And for more information, you can call 305 200 9014. Alan.
I have down here that's 9104.
Yeah, 9104. Sorry.
I'm
You might be
looking at
calling
my
someone
big
else.
print edition. And everyone can look for our next show in June. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And on behalf of myself, Sylvia Stinson Perez, and Renee Rentmeester, as well as our chefs today, and all of us at the Cooking Without Looking TV show and Vision World Foundation. Bye for now, guys.
Don't forget to order your Cooking Without Looking apron. We want to see everybody with a Cooking Without Looking apron.
And I don't want to forget to thank Sylvia. She crocheted me a beautiful Afghan. So it matches perfectly and my favorite color. So
It doesn't match your apron though, but
no,
you know.
it doesn't match my apron. No. It matches my couch, you know. And I'd like to thank Diane Salinas, which she organized all of this, as well as Mary Allen, both from the Lighthouse of the Palm Beaches. Thank you again. They're old friends of ours, and we loved having you on. And now the magical song.
Got to go wake up the guy that plays the band.
Get the group together.
You want to see what we do best? We got the recipe for success. We don't need sight to make something good tonight. We're holding the kitchen, gonna show you what we got.